I was thinking about this. I have 15 minutes to talk to you about something that I typically go out into school districts and spend 2 days talking about. So this is like the Cliff Notes version, modified even more. So not only that, you know, for those of you I know who are teachers, right? 50-minute class period. So high school teacher, you get a 50-minute class period, and you feel like that's a whirlwind, and I've got 15 minutes. So I'm going to talk really fast. Good news is everything I'm going to talk about is available on the web, and I know that the URLs for what I'm going to tell you about are in your programs. So I wanted to tell you that up front. All right, here we go. This is me. So when I was asked to do this, I was actually really excited because there's so much talk about the Common Core standards, the Common Core standards, the Common Core standards. And so what I wanted to do is give us an opportunity to find a common ground, a common language for everybody to work from, so that not only are you thinking about that during the day, today, through all these presentations, but also as you are out in the field and you hear people talking, you can help with some of the misconceptions, because this is one of the things that my team is up against as we go out and work with school districts. So let's start with the Colorado Academic Standards. The Colorado Academic Standards provide a common ground. They are the starting point and the framework that school districts, teachers work from in developing their curriculum. Okay? So what I did is I pulled, this is a reading, writing, communicating, RWC standard, and this is what is called an evidence outcome. You'll notice down there at the bottom, it says CCSS. Does everybody see that at the bottom? Okay, so just keep that in mind for just a second. So I'm not going to read that to you. You all can read. The Colorado Academic Standards, there are 10 content areas that have standards. They were revised in 2009, okay, in all 10 content areas. That must have been quite the undertaking. I wasn't here for that particular event, but it must have been quite an undertaking. So here's a math example. Now, I'm showing you reading, writing, communicating, and math, and not social studies, for a very important reason, and I'll tell you what that reason is in just a second. But notice, again, CCSS. Do you all see those? Okay, so again, this is an evidence outcome in math. What you need to know about the Common Core State Standards, CCSS, is that they are embedded in the Colorado Academic Standards. Okay, so in 2009, when they were revised, when the standards were revised, the school board, the state school board, signed off on it. They said, super great, we love them. And then in 2010, the Common Core State Standards came out. At that time, since we already had standards in place, the decision was made to embed the Common Core State Standards into the Colorado Academic Standards. The Common Core State Standards only exist in reading, writing, communicating, and math. Hence the reason that that is why I showed you RWC and math examples. There are no Common Core standards for science. There are no Common Core standards for social studies, and there never will be. Okay, so that's a really important piece of information. The reason that the decision was made to embed the Common Core into the Colorado Academic Standards is because there were some legislative pieces that were in our standards that we had to meet the requirements, those legislative requirements. So, for example, we have personal financial literacy. There is an extra standard. There's a fourth standard in reading, writing, communicating that's research and reasoning. And there's 21st century skills. And so what the state board and what the writers of the standards, the Colorado Academic Standards, believed is that the Colorado Academic Standards are really good standards. We didn't want to throw them away and be just Common Core. Okay? So Common Core standards have been embedded in. So here's questions I get a lot. So these kinds of misconceptions. Somebody says, when are we going to become a Common Core state? How do I teach to the Common Core standards? How do I know if my curriculum is aligned to the Common Core standards, Common Core state standards? Well, if you're teaching to the Colorado academic standards, all of that is taken care of. If you are teaching to the Colorado academic standards, you are teaching the Common Core state standards. That's a really important piece. Now, you may or may not have heard rumors about national standards in social studies and science. So the next generation standards in science are out there. They do exist. We still have Colorado academic standards for science. That is what the assessments are being built on, are the Colorado academic standards. That's important to keep in mind, okay? So, another piece of common ground. Taking the standards, one of the biggest challenges that school districts have that we are understanding, so this is we as in my team of 9 people, is how do we take these standards, these Colorado academic standards that are concept and skill-based, and turn them into curriculum? And this is especially challenging. Now I'm going to switch completely to social studies. It's especially challenging from a social studies perspective when, as a high school teacher who I taught US history, among other things, I've got an 1,100-page textbook. That was my curriculum. That is not curriculum, so that's the first thing I want to put out there. But we are so focused on content. Well, what am I supposed to teach? How do I teach the Colorado academic standards? There's no content in there. I don't know how to teach that because they're concept and skill based. So in response to a request from actually the state superintendent's the state district, so the school district superintendents, their state organization. Does that make sense? The president of that organization wrote a letter and said, you know, we need to find basically common ground. If what our focus is student achievement, if that's what we really want, right, in the end, is for our kids to be successful, then shouldn't we figure out a roadmap that helps to get us all there in the same way? From that became our district sample curriculum project. And last fall, we brought in over 500 educators to do this work, to build and develop 670 curriculum samples, K-12, in 10 content areas. Now, here's an important note. It is sample because it is just that. It is one way to think about structuring curriculum. It is one way to think about how you can build a curriculum based on concepts and skills. However, I have to tell you, the feedback has been phenomenal. All of those samples are available online. All of them. 670 of them. And what we've done then is we being the 500 educators, I helped, as the content specialists, we all helped to facilitate this work. So what we wanted to do is make sure that we created a template that local control districts, okay, so local control state, the school districts could take if they want. They can take the template, they can modify it any way, shape, and form, they can build curriculum from it, whatever they want to do. Or they can look at it and go, God, this is pretty cool. We're going to use this as is. We like this. Or we like this part, but we don't like this part. Whatever form that takes. But what we had done through that project is provided common ground. Provided a place where districts can, if they want, take these templates to build strong curriculum based on the Colorado academic standards. So the next steps for this work, because what was built are curriculum unit overviews. So you've got year at a glance, and then you've got unit overviews. It's kind of the 30,000-foot view, right? So it provides kind of a snapshot, if you will, for the unit. The next steps is going to be this summer when we will bring educators in to build out those unit overviews into full-blown units, instructional units, resources, instructional strategies, including using primary sources, all the way down to that level. And those then will be posted as well. This winter, we are traveling all over the state. We have school districts from all over who are bringing school districts together. You may or may not know this. There are 178 school districts in the state. 70% of them are rural, considered rural districts, which is less than 5,000 students. Okay? So there's kind of a capacity issue, right? Whether it's human capacity, whether it's knowledge capacity in terms of how do you build curriculum. So what we're doing is we've said to school districts, hey, if you want us to come out and work with you, we would be happy to do that. So school districts are pooling resources and pooling the districts and teachers and bringing teachers together. And we are traveling all over the state between now and June to provide these 2-day workshops to help districts build capacity for doing this curriculum work. Because starting this fall, every school district and every school in the state has to be teaching from the Colorado academic standards, the ones that were approved in 2009. So the next steps then, which is when we take the unit overviews down to the instructional level, are this summer. If you're interested in participating to do that work, we will be looking for participants to help us do that work. It's really, really exciting work. And so you have to look on the website, on our Standards and Instructional Support website. Again, the URL, I believe, is in your program. If you are interested in looking at these sample curriculum units and unit overviews, et cetera, I shouldn't say units because they're not units yet, they're unit overviews. That is the website. Again, my understanding is that that website link is also in your program. So if you have the program, you can go to the website. You can, oh, let me tell you this piece because I have 2 minutes. I'm watching my little clock here. I got to tell you this piece because this is super cool. So right now, they are on our website. They being the unit overviews, they are going to be transferred to eNet Colorado. When they are transferred to eNet Colorado, they are going to be searchable. So here's what you would be able to do. You could decide that there was a certain evidence outcome or a certain inquiry question, or maybe there's relevance and application piece in the standards that you really, really like, and you think, I wonder what unit overviews exist that align with that particular relevance and application, and you will be able to search all 670. You'll be able to look for grade level. You'll be able to look at evidence outcome. You'll be able to do it by content, et cetera, because the samples that were created by teachers have been coded to the standards. So once it goes to eNet Colorado, you will be able to do that. You will be able to do that search, should you choose to do so. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Please feel free to email me. I try to be very judicious and expedient. Is that a word? Oh, good. In getting emails back to people. Obviously it's crazy because we're out of the office a lot. For those of you who may or may not know, we have the state social studies assessment being piloted this spring. It will go live next spring, okay? In grades 4, 7, and then the fall of the senior year in high school. So I've been out working on that quite a bit as well. So I'm in and out of the office a lot. That's why email is usually the best way to contact me. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. And that is my little sound bite on finding common ground. Thank you.